So I'm going to talk about some of the things that go into making a good story and how you get your story from the first idea to the finished product. Where do story ideas come from? Well, they come from all sorts of places. I get ideas from walking down the street. I get ideas from overhearing people's conversations. And I very often get ideas from old artefacts, like this old magazine. This magazine helped me to think of the idea for a short story and a novel. But between this and this, there's a long, long process. Here are some of the stages of that process. First of all, you need to get your ideas out. And for me, that means a really rough, messy, horrible first draft. It's always much too long. It's always repetitive. It's always full of absolute rubbish that will never be in the final story, but that's okay. So you write your first draft and it might look a bit like this. Really messy. Because things never come out right first time. They might come out right second time, or third time, or 14th time. This is what a draft looks like. It doesn't look neat. It doesn't look perfect. It's a working document. When you set out to write a story, you might think that you're never ever going to get it finished, that you've got this big mountain to climb. But I always say to people, you don't have to go up the full mountain all at once. First of all, you get to base camp, and that's just about writing the story. And that looks a bit like this. And then you work on it, and you work on it a bit more, and you get the structure right. You make sure that it all makes sense. Only then do you start looking at your words and your prose and trying to make that really sing and sound as good as possible. And that's when you get your final product. This is my writing hat. This is for a first draft. This hat is playful. This hat is not very serious. This hat is a bit rough and ready. When I'm wearing this hat, I'm writing a first draft. I'm taking risks. I'm letting anything happen. I'm swept along by the story. And I'm wearing such a silly hat that it doesn't matter. But I can't wear that hat forever. Sooner or later, I have to put on this hat. This is a much more serious affair. This is my editing hat. When I've got my editing hat on, anything doesn't go. When I've got my editing hat on, I'm really paying attention. I'm asking myself questions. Does that make sense? Would that character really have done that? Oh look, I've got 2 chapters doing exactly the same thing. I'm going to have to get rid of one of them. When I've got my editing hat on, I am ruthless. The thing about these 2 hats is they both do a really important job, but I wouldn't try to do both jobs at once. When you're in the flow of a story and you're really enjoying it and it's really creative, you don't want to stop and think, oh, look, you've already used that word, you must find a different word. That would be like trying to cycle with your brakes on. So use your writing hat for the first draft, use your editing hat for editing, but don't try to put your editing hat on top of your writing hat. It's not a good look and it won't help you write a good story. So now you're going to write your own stories. I hope you have as much fun writing them as I have writing my stories. I hope you remember that you don't have to get it right first time. It's a process. You've got a mountain to climb, but not all at once. Take your time, enjoy it, and feel blue.